Maybe a hot take, and I mean no parenting shame by saying this, I hate that shit. But coming from someone who was homeschooled, I don't think that anyone should be able to homeschool their children unless they have a teaching degree. Maybe a
So classic case of I didn't like what I went through, so therefore nobody else can even potentially risk going through what I went through. How about this? I don't think anyone should be able to go through surgery because I went through surgery and I almost died. I don't think anyone should have to go to the dentist because I went to the dentist and they put the wrong tooth out. Like this is retarded. Just because you didn't like what you went through, all of a sudden now nobody should be able to do it. Oh my fucking god! How much restrictions do you want on your life by someone else who doesn't have to live your life? Like think about that. What you're asking for, the government has to put out a mandate saying you are not allowed to teach your kids at home because this lady went through shit at home. Like that is in fucking insane. Why do you want to not be able to do something because of a bad experience of someone else? You shouldn't be able to make Instagram reels because I see other people make Instagram reels and they hurt my feelings. Shut up. What the fuck is wrong with people? Is this just clickbait to get people to comment and share? Because it doesn't make any sense otherwise. And the amount of people in the comment section agreeing with her that they should be not allowed to do something that they can just simply not do is it's incredible. Now, let's go to her account before we go to the comment section. Storyteller mommy.
condescending. I also was not shameful. Subjects around parenting are just triggering for our own individual reasons, and it's easy to infer what we want about what people say. The public school system is scary. Lots of people are amazing at homeschooling. To prevent homeschoolers from falling behind, we should be regulating who can teach their kids and supporting them. Parents are doing what's best for their kids. I believe that. I was
The irony here. The irony here.
around parenting are just triggering for our own individual reasons.
Listen to that. Are triggering for our own individual reasons. Literally you. That's literally you. You're triggered about homeschooling for your own individual reasons. And then you're going to excuse that on the person who commented? Lady.
For our own individual reasons, and it's easy to infer what we want about what people say. The public school system is scary. Lots of people are amazing at homeschooling. To prevent homeschoolers from falling behind, we should be regulating who can teach them.
Okay, what are you going to do about kids falling behind who go to public schools? What are you going to do about that? Oh, put regulations on it that you already do? Put mandatory testing in it that you already do? And yet we still have teachers who are, I guess, the younger millennials or the older Gen Zs who say that kids are fucking stupid. They don't say those words, but they essentially say these kids dumb. They're 3 grades behind, and we're only in the 4th. What is the regulation doing for them? So again, because you had a bad experience in homeschooling, we're going to pretend that public schooling is just better because by default. Literally, when I was in high school, they say, "Hey, only 33% of y'all will graduate, so good luck, nigga." Like that was the speech. Real shit. My freshman year, that was the speech. Look to your left, look to your right. Only one of y'all gonna make it. So do you want to regulate them more? The public school system in America is wildly inefficient. Wildly inefficient. Teachers complain about how many kids it is to a class. They ain't never got enough books. They ain't never got enough desks. They ain't never got enough help. They ain't never got enough of nothing. And the answer everybody always comes with more money, more money, more money. You know what will reduce a lot of that a lot of that, the problems that they complain about? Homeschooling. Like, you don't even have to leave the house. You can account for every book your child would need. Or maybe you have kids in the, that are within like 1 or 2 years of each other, and you can kind of teach the younger one, bring them along a little faster. Unlike public schools where your grade is your grade, unless you are doing astoundingly well, then maybe you can skip to the next grade. You see how more efficient homeschooling already is with just the scheduling? Not to mention, you don't need to block out 8 hours. How many times have you been in class, regardless of the grade, and then like the last 10 minutes you're just killing because you're done? Or they give you an assignment and you do this. The class is 55 minutes long. The assignment, but the time you finish the assignment is 20 minutes left. And now you guys are just left there just going over, hey, this is how we did the problem. Who got it all right? Good job. Who got it wrong? Now you know what you got wrong. Like, how inefficient is that? That you have to keep 30 people on the same fucking pace.
Wanna go work from home parents, how are you doing it? Work from home parents, how are you doing it? Work from home parents, how are you?
God. But you can work from home and not. So since you work from home, should you be forced to send your non-grade school child your child that's not old enough to go to school? If you are a parent that works from home, should you be forced to send your kid to daycare? Because there's no possible way that you can watch your kid and be at work at the same time. That's by default bad parenting, is it? So we get to force you to spend money, or let me guess, we should pay for your child to go to daycare since you took a job working from home. Man, gotta fucking love people like this.
Today, my baby woke up in a mood, like with wrath in his eyes. It's really awesome as a parent when you get to wake up that way and just know it's gonna be a hard day. Yeah, it's great. Today, my baby.
This person wants to make decisions for other people. this person, but this bland ass, like her reality is so bland that she gets to just go on here. My kid woke up and I thought of something. It's going to be a bad day. News for everyone following. What? Oh, and by the way, I should be able to vote to make you not have be able to talk to your children at home about education. All right.
That's great. I love it. I'm good. We're great. That's great.
Yeah, we'll take a pass on your suggestion about how people should live their life. We'll take a fucking pass. This person says, for all those who are just listening, we're in the comment section now. And this person says, homeschooling is nothing more than, I don't want my children to contradict my fragile belief system. Well, that's my child and my fucking fragile belief system. Why should you or anybody else be able to make that not a reality? Seriously. This is all good and dandy. And here's how you know the Republicans or the conservatives, the Christians, the Matt Walshes of the world are just so lagging behind on what the times are. They don't understand how to use the same methods against people like this and make them leave that shit alone. Because you think somebody like this, who's mocking someone who doesn't want their child to veer away from their beliefs, if let's say this is a person, because they're typically on this side of thinking. Let's say somebody like Matt Walsh makes TikToks about not telling these people's children, hey, guns are a great thing. They're great for society. Everyone should own one. You think they'll like that shit? Or, hey, abortion is evil and you should never even think about it. You should wait until you're married before you even have sex and have children and be with one person forever. And you should do this as young as you can after 18. You think they'll like that shit? You think if the conservatives were smart enough to use these same social platforms to talk to these same people's kids, they would like that shit in return? So I'm pretty sure this person doesn't want their child to veer far from their belief systems either. Fuck, these comments are wild. Imagine if we let people practice surgery because they thought they were better at it than trained surgeons. I hate when people do this. They're saying that this is what I consider a test of consistency in your logic, but this is not relevant. Your logic does not have to be in surgery what it is to 2 plus fucking 2. Or hey John, Benjamin, whatever the fuck president, this is what they did. That is not consistent with, hey John, lay down. I'm going to remove your kidneys because they aren't any good. What the fuck? You aren't telling your kids, hey, you can shoot yourself in the face, it's totally fine. No, you're saying this is your address and this is how to count. Your extreme ridiculousness. Like I can't even try to understand why you would even try this, other than just be a misleading dick. Wait till you find out how many public school teachers don't even have a teaching degree. I don't know how that works, honestly. I don't know what it takes to get a teaching degree. I don't know if you can kind of sort of really just, take classes and get a degree in a certain field and then just go, well, I'm not making it in this field. Fuck it, I'll be a teacher. I have no clue if that's the case. I would imagine it's possible to do that, considering how hard it is to get people to teach, I guess, or how many people are retiring, or that problem I spoke about before where there's a cheat code in the teaching agreement in certain places where a teacher can just save up all the sick days and call off for like 2 years, which puts a strain on the system to find people to replace because you're not even like retired in the books. You're just at home sick, so they technically can't replace you with an actual teacher because who's going to take that position if you're just out sick? So I don't know. I would assume that there is a loophole there for people to be able to not have an actual teaching degree to be able to teach in the schools. Yeah, let's have kids in school where most students can't read at grade level. I'm not sure about most, but we do know it's a large amount, an alarming amount. Quote, hate that shit, unquote. And then it continues to shame homeschoolers who don't have a teaching degree. And then it's a response saying, I'm not shaming anyone. It kind of is. It kind of is. Like you're not directly shaming, but you're leaving enough there that that you're saying that these people are bad. You're essentially saying that without actually getting to the point of saying these people are bad. Because why else should they not be able to homeschool? Why shouldn't they be able to do a thing that if there's no shame to it? Right? I'm not shaming sex workers. It's just that I don't think people should be able to, sell pictures or, services of their body sexually. I'm not shaming it though. I just don't think they should be able to do it. But why not? Why shouldn't they be able to do it? Oh, because I just think people should just only have sex in marriage. Well, what's the problem with it outside of marriage? Like, give me a reason. Oh, it's not just that or shame. I just think that they shouldn't. That shit doesn't fly. It's stupid. Like you're trying to evade the logic of that you're putting out there. And you know what's odd? That one video before I came back to this is she has a child who obviously is like a baby or a toddler, and you have to teach it manners. Like eggs are on the floor, right? You have to teach your child the proper etiquette and manners in that regard, right? It starts really slow, obviously, because it's a toddler, but you do, bring your child along of, hey, we don't throw things on the floor just because we're done eating. We don't make a mess of things because it's fun. We don't draw on the wall because it's that's not what a wall is for. The appropriate thing to do is get a paper, or maybe make a room where you can draw on the wall and that's your art, whatever. But you don't just go around just crayoning everything the fuck up. Like, you're still teaching your child, but because we don't want them to teach the child numbers, that's when it becomes a problem. Okay. My parents both have PhDs, and they still had the sense to know that they were not qualified to homeschool their kids. People ask all the time why they didn't. Teaching people, especially children in different stages of development, is a different skill and knowledge based entirely. It is crazy to me to see parents with no certification or experience homeschooling left and right. To me, it speaks how much we undervalue teachers. Anyone thinks they can do their job. Okay, first of all, you didn't tell us what the teachers, what their PhDs were in. If their PhDs are in fucking, I don't know, law, if you can get your PhD in that, then no, they probably wouldn't think I can teach my kid math by default. You gotta give us more than, oh, they got PhDs. That doesn't tell us anything. Um, and then at the bottom where it says, it shows how much we undervalue teachers. Anybody think they can do their job? They literally can. They literally can. Again, our system is wildly inefficient. K through 12, not mentioning preschool, not mentioning Head Start. We don't need that much shit for people to not really know shit when they graduate. You don't need 13, 14, 15 years of schooling to know regular basic shit. Like, we don't even, and they I heard they did it right before I started going to school. Like, they don't even teach you how to do like home repair shit. Like, how many people, including myself, when I was redoing my one of my rooms, I literally had to like look up videos of like a lot of shit and still got a lot of it wrong, because you're not teaching people how to do small stuff around the house to become like efficient, like, within yourself. That doesn't tell you how wildly inefficient the school is. We don't know. Like, I don't even know what to use as an example at this point. Like, all we really know when we leave school is like the basic of basic math, the basic of basic English, if that. When I went to junior college, the first English class, the beginning English class, the teacher straight up told us, a lot of y'all don't know shit, and you should. They had to rehash the shit we learned in high school. Why? Because nobody fucking learned it, or they forgot it already. That's how wildly inefficient it is. So yes, we think we can do your job because we kind of can. It is not undervaluing you. You just, listen. I know this is a sin in America. You're not that good at your job. You're not. Collectively, you're not that good. You just aren't. Why? Because you're in a system that makes your job kind of like almost irrelevant. You teach them the shit that we literally could just also teach them. Seriously. If parents actually tried to be parents, they wouldn't need you. They wouldn't. Nobody uses algebra. Nobody uses calculus. I can't think of a person who even knows what trigonometry is. I have a family member who is a teacher. I think she teaches some shit like business, she said. I can guarantee you, if I took 100 of her students, because she's been doing this for years now, if I took 100 of her students 5 years after the fact and said, okay, What did you learn in her class? Give me 3 pages of what you learned in her class. I guarantee you none of them niggas would know. None of them. It'd be like 6 sentences, and they'd be like, I mean, shit, dog. I mean, business. It's business. That'd be the most common answer. Collective. I'm sure individually, some of you are pretty good, but collectively, you're valued exactly where you need to be valued. Kind of like, because you're involved. You are a major part of the system. A system that sucks. The system sucks. The American education system is fucking trash. Teachers included. Fight me. Wait till you see how the public school teachers educate your kids. Um, she said, and then she responds with, "I also went to public school and had a positive experience." Okay, so your experience is is what's going to manipulate all of this, right? Right? What about all the kids that got bullied because teachers, can't be everywhere, and they, got at the kids, like go to the bathroom and shit? What about that? What about those kids? What about I know, right? What about the kids who can't eat at home? Well, because that has nothing to do with the teachers. That's shitty parents. Again, if parents were actually want to be parents, none of this would be relevant. None of it. Like again, your job's actually kind of redundant. I don't think you have a clue of what homeschooling is right now. There are co-ops, online classes, groups, homeschooling tutors. Don't lump everyone in one weird group. I have no teaching degree, yet I am graduating one from high school this year with an associate's. So please don't judge a whole group by your one experience. And I'm not reading her response because I really don't want to read that long. But again, homeschooling, and I did a video some years ago that people who are homeschooled, they tend to do better in a lot of areas, including socially, right? That would be shocking to people because people assume that if you're homeschooled, you're just kept in like a shoebox and like never let off to leave or do anything. But the study that I read showed that they do well, they do better, all including in the social area. A teaching degree is 10% content, 10% watered down psychology, and 80% classroom management. Teaching styles meant to show how to teach large groups. Little to none of what you learn in a teaching degree has anything to do with homeschooling. You should arguably have a college degree to teach, but you can always get tutors and find teaching pods where an expert is brought in to instruct a few kids at once. Um, I want to actually. I think I forgot something with the top. Listen, even if you don't really know how to teach, do you know how much shit is online these days where you can, sit your kids down and go through it, side by side with them, maybe read it before, whatever, and essentially get it down pat. Like seriously. Like let's think about whatever for kindergarten to first grade, whatever grade where you just learn how to count. Do you know how much sooner you can teach your kids how to not only count but to like add numbers at that level? Like it moves so fucking slow, but yet because of the classroom structure, it seems like it's fast for kids because it's 30 plus of them and one teacher. They don't know that your kid back there's all the way to fuck behind because of whatever the reason. Usually shit because you're a bad parent at home. Like this, I can't repeat it enough. This system is so inefficient. It's a bad system. Stop making a case for why the system just needs more and more and more and more and more and more. No, it doesn't. The system needs to either go away or be severely revamped. And all that filler taken out. You need to put real shit in there. Real shit needs to be taught in schools. This is how you this is the tax system. This is all do that shit. But I don't learn about that. As a teacher myself who homeschools her children, that degree helps in no way. A degree taught me how to teach 25 kids at the same time. The totally different skill set than teaching your own children. Also, homeschooling isn't what it was 20 years ago or even 5. The amount of focus and individualized attention a parent can give to their kids is phenomenal. Are there moms who are bad at homeschooling? Sure. Are there schools that are bad at educating? Yep. You can throw out the baby with the bathwater because one bad experience. And it doesn't seem like she responded to that one. Why? Why didn't you respond to the person who says she's a teacher, but you responded to literally everybody else? Okay, well, not literally, but you get the point. I'm trying to find a couple more. I'm a qualified teacher. The whole reason I don't want to send my children to traditional schooling is because I don't believe it's the best way for children to learn. So I don't know how much teaching qualifications will help me. Didn't respond to her either. What a coincidence. What a coincidence. The people who are in the field you talk about disagree with you, and those are the people you don't respond to. Very interesting. I'm going to read these last two and call it a wrap. Maybe pass some kind of exam that makes sure you have reading comprehension and a smidge of common sense. Okay, there is no, you can't really put a test together to test common sense. Because when you sit somebody down in front of a screen or a sheet of paper and say, circle this, write that, do this, and then try to test common sense, that's not real life. In real life, common sense is usually reactive, instinctive. So how can you really give a test for that? Maybe there is, but I don't see how that you can give a test that properly measures common sense. Last one. Coming from someone that was also homeschooled, a lot of it also requires the parents to be involved with their kids. Or mom was extremely I think that's supposed to be our. Mom was extremely hands-on with everything we learned. She didn't have a teaching degree, but she had the answer keys and knew the materials. I learned a lot of things never mentioned in the classrooms and in the classrooms as well, like taxes, Bill of Rights, local government. You know, things you should learn in school but don't. Okay, here and that's exactly what the very first person was talking about. Things like that. They don't want they see people who want their children to understand something like your local government and how that impacts you or the government at all. Taxes, Bill of Rights, what you're supposed to be able to do that nobody's supposed to be able to take away from you, all that type of stuff. They don't want they don't want their kids to be sent. These people don't want these parents to keep their kids from going to school and be told that, these kind of rights actually are bad and blah, 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 blah. Like, that's what they're talking about. But, all those surgeries are okay. But what do y'all think about old girl and her you shouldn't be able to homeschool despite, homeschooling her own damn kids. Be right, not positive. I'm out.